The words are something that I didn't expect to affect me in my everyday life. So when I go out, I feel as if I'm wearing slut across my forehead. The names that...
All right, first off, what I want to do is I want to give a shout out to the Casual Bachelor, my man. He went and turned this piece up. This is Charlie Sheen's ex, Bree Olsen. Not that, who gives a fuck, right? As far as I'm concerned, those are two ellipticals trying to mate. Both of them are pretty shitty human beings. But you got to listen to what's going on here with this nonsense. I'm going to let this play, and as she comes to ridiculousness, I am going to point that out.
People have called me. It's as if you could take out those names and print them and put a ribbon around my whole body of all the names and things that people say to me on the internet. That's how I feel when I walk outside the door.
Oh, well, that's fucking terrible. Isn't that just awful? Isn't that terrible that you could go and do reprehensible, filthy shit and then still think that you have some type of entitlement towards being respected? That's not my fault that you're not respected. It's your fault that you're not respected. And let's be honest here. Let's be real about what you do for a living. You open your legs for money to anyone that wants to insert a penis or an object into your body cavity. That's what you do. Look at that fucking face. Look at that face. Look at the pock marks on the forehead. Look at the fucking hair. This woman, well, how old is this woman? She's not old, man, but she looks old. She feels old. She talks like she's old. She's been rode hard and put away wet, and she's still complaining about taking that fucking money, right? You took the money. You signed up for the position. You were an adult. You did exactly what you wanted. I freed myself from the patriarchy, and now you're still fucking complaining.
From the adult industry, but then I transitioned into the mainstream industry, but I encountered a lot of issues with my transition and people not accepting me into the mainstream world.
So what's the problem with that? You're not guaranteed acceptance. You see, people that have standards, and I don't mean unrealistic or haughty standards, people that have decent standards don't want to be next to people like you. Plain and simple. You don't get to go and get run through like a fucking train at a train yard. You don't get to do that and then claim that you're a respectable person. These stupid bitches that come into this porno industry and they think that they're going to transition into movies and acting, they have no idea what's waiting for them on the other side of this. I've watched this in my entire life. I've watched it my whole life. The most successful one that I could point at would probably be Tracy Lords. That's the most successful one. There have been a few others, but Tracy Lords by and far was the most successful. And even she didn't last long because nobody wants to be next to this kind of person.
Oh, I have really gotten to the point where there are days to weeks at a time where I don't leave my house because I don't feel like facing the world of what has been.
Aww. She doesn't want to face the consequences of her choices. She doesn't want to face the ass end of the actions. She got the check cut. I don't want to hear about your fucking feelings. I don't want to hear about how you feel betrayed by humankind. You opted into it. You exploited people. You took the check. You took the fucking money. Shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a fuck about this. Now you get to live with this, and it's forever. It's forever. How about instead of trying to find somebody to blame for what's going on in your life, you go walk into that house of yours and you take a nice, hard, long look in the fucking mirror and you start taking some accountability. Get some agency, sweetheart, because you're desperately lacking.
And created out there for me. I get so disappointed when I go out and I meet a new friend, and then it turns out they don't want to be my friend anymore. Or I go out and, you know, I don't know, I just hear things and or witness things. It's really easier for me just to stay inside my house and not put myself out there for hurt. Because I gave up between $30,000 and $60,000 a month, and I could go back to porn today and still make that. I could go back to porn and make $20,000 just in 1 week if I wanted to this week, and I don't, because that's how much I don't want my photos on the internet. People treat me as if I am a pedophile. They don't treat me like an ex-sex worker. They treat me...
I want you to stop saying that fucking shit right now. You are not a goddamn sex worker. You are a whore. You are somebody that is trying to clean your act up with Marxist language and make yourself into something that you're not. You are not a sex worker, madam. You are a whore. You are a whore. I'm gonna say that one more again. Me. You are a fucking whore. You're not respectable. You're not decent. And you've given away all the best things that your life and your body would ever represent for money. So you should embrace that. And you should love that, because that's who and what you are. You don't get to have the best of both worlds. You can't do it all. And in this case, you can't erase what you are. It's out there for the world to see. Plain and simple. Your choice, right? Your body, your choice. Well, live with the goddamn choice.
Like, I would somehow be damaging to children.
Simple question, like, how would you like to be treated?
Oh my gosh, I've never thought about that. God, I never even, that is so simple. I guess, like...
Oh, man, look, she's a human. Oh, she's got all them feelings, and nobody's ever asked me how I wanted to be treated. They asked you where to deposit the check, right? Yeah, they asked you where to deposit the check, and you told them where to put the fucking check. And then you shot 8 hours a fucking day, 3 or 4 days a week, getting run through. What have you got? Over 250 of these sexual interludes, right? Because that's all it is. It's nothing else. It's not mental. It's not love. It's not spiritual. It's not the bond between man and woman. It's just you going out there and exploiting the fact that you have a reasonably decent fucking body. Men don't get to do that. Men don't get to do that. You go out there and you make all this fucking cheddar, all this cheese, and then where are you now? Nowhere. Let's listen to this bitch cry a little.
I would, I wish that people would treat me how they would treat a married registered nurse with 2.5 kids in Indiana. That's how I wish people would treat me.
You could have been that. You see, there's this thing out here that's called reality, and I don't think that you've ever been acquainted with it. I'm a representative of reality. I'm a pretty nice guy sometimes, most of the time. And I would not shake your hand with a body glove. That's how toxic and disgusting you are to me. And that's how you are to most people out there. When they find out that you've been run through, that Oscar Mayer threw a hot dog factory up in your vagina, nobody wants to have anything to do with you, because it's not just a fucking job. It's a pathology. It's how you motherfuckers are made. It's an indicator that there's something wrong with you mentally. And nobody is comfortable with that. And I don't blame them. I'm not comfortable with it. You could walk up today and say, "Hey, Mr. Hammerhand, would you like to be platonic besties? I promise I will never try to sex you." And I would be like, "No, there's something wrong with you. Get the fuck on down the road. You can find somebody else to dick around with. Pardon the pun. Oh man, she's so broken up.
I would be so happy. I don't know.
You goddamn right you don't know. This is a woman that is actually coming really, really close to accepting responsibility for her actions. She won't do it, but she's getting really, really close to rubbing elbows with agency and accountability. And it fucks with her terrible bad. Because she knows everywhere that she goes now and every person that she meets, she's going to have to say it. She's going to have to acknowledge it. She's going to have to embrace it. Like it's an old dear friend. Give it a great big fucking hug and a sloppy kiss and get real, real good with being what you are. There's no such thing as what you were. You are those things, past or present. And into the future, you will drag them.
I never even thought about that before. But it'll never happen. That's probably why I don't think about it. I learned that there are some things that no matter how open-minded you are, other people will never be, and that you shouldn't do. And I send a very strong message to young girls: don't do porn, because
that's very ironic and very weird. I sent a very strong message to girls after 260 movies, after collecting millions of dollars, after dating Charlie Sheen or marrying this guy or blah, or living the lifestyle, blah, blah, blee, 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 blee. And then I turned around and crawfished on the whole life that I had lived, and I told everybody, don't do this because it kind of sucks a little. I was told this in the beginning, but guess the fuck what? Patriarchy.
As much I understand it, you want to embrace your sexuality, you want to say, screw the man, screw whatever, like, I can do what I want with my body.
What the fuck did I just say? What the fuck did I just say? Your body, your choice. Live with the consequences, dirtbag.
Gonna have a life of crap in front of you and dealing with people and companies, and, you know, companies are allowed to turn you down for work because of anything they want, and you know, they have morality clauses. You can never work with children after you do porn. You can never work in a medical field after you do porn. And these are things that teenage girls don't think about. You think that you're a teenager, it's fun, you're making money, and that's the truth. It is, and there's nothing wrong with porn.
It's the truth, and there's nothing wrong with porn. No, of course not. So then why the point for this video? Why are you in this video then? Why are you making this? Why are you crying? Why are you emotionally distraught? What y'all busted up over, bitch? Do you know why little girls don't think about these things? Because these little girls don't have any goddamn fathers in their lives. That's why. By and large, I'm not talking about the anomaly man that beat the shit out of his daughter or sexually fucked his daughter up. That number is minuscule. I'm talking about the ones that you fleece. I'm talking about the ones that would have stopped it. Because we all know females go along to get along. And if your daughter or your son, God help you if your son starts opposing you, but if your daughter opposes you, you'll just fold up and let her do it. Or you'll beat her to death. That's just what y'all do.
But how people treat you for the rest of your life, it's not worth it. I definitely think that it's time for people to respect sex workers and respect...
Boom. Okay. Now, you don't get no fucking respect because you open your legs and somebody comes up in there and just starts bombing you out. You don't get respect. Nobody joins Vivid. Nobody goes to Hollyweird. Nobody goes to LA or Nevada to get respect to do sex work. They go to get fucking paid because they don't want a 9-to-5er. Because they don't want to work for anything and accumulate the money. They want that shit slapped on them immediately right now and in large quantities. And if they happen to be somewhat pretty, they can make that happen. Know what I'm saying? Of course you know what I'm saying, because you've been there. You took all the money, you spent all the fucking, you did the fucking do. Shut up.
Women in total. Absolutely.
I love that little banner right there. Real women, real stories. Well, there's no such thing as a fake woman. There are fake stories, though. And what you just experienced here was a fake story. Don't be fooled by the way that this fucking broad gets up there and starts crying and bitching and moaning. She's suffering the consequences of her actions. That's what she's doing. And that's what she will always do. This will never go away. You will never be able to convince the vast majority of people that being a piece of shit, being a troglodyte, is virtuous and noble. You won't. You won't. You're not going to convince me. You gentlemen have yourselves a wonderful day out there, and stay away from these motherfuckers.